Now, let's be honest, nowadays it is very rare to have a chance to actually see a new phone, let alone a new phone from a new company. Look, the smartphone scene at the moment is more cutthroat than ever before, so you've got to be about that life if you want to come into the game, play the game, and also stay in the game. You seriously can't come in with nothing to prove. Well, in this case, Nothing is wanting to do just that. This ain't their first product by any means, but this is their first smartphone. Their genesis to hopefully bring a fresh take to a very tried and tested formula. I think personally, for their first try right here, there are some quirks, both good and odd, but for sure, there is something to pay attention to when it comes to the Nothing Phone 1. I've had it for 3 days. 72 hours later, let's talk about my initial impressions of the Nothing Phone 1. Let's go. Hi, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any new videos on the channel. Before we even get into the details of the design and build quality, I'm gonna drop a hot take and say that the Nothing Phone 1 is, in my subjective opinion, probably the best looking phone I've seen in a long while, especially considering the £400 starting price point. Look, I'm not gonna take it back at all, and people can come for me in the comments when I say that purely on the design and partly the build quality alone, this feels much closer to the cost of a £700 to £800 smartphone. No joke. That is seriously how much I feel it punches above its weight class here. Why? Well, from the use of Corning Gorilla Glass 5 at the front and back, the use of a premium aluminium for the frame with the clean matte finish that deals with fingerprints so well and gives it a nice grip, the excellent button placement, the dual physical SIM card slots, the near enough perfectly designed front display, and of course, the heart and center of the Nothing design language, the clear, transparent, translucent, glossy back finish which showcases the soft diffused LED lights that make up what Nothing call the glyph interface. Let's call it as it is. The shape of the phone does indeed look and feel familiar, but credit where it's due. Nothing have been able to walk that fine line and still make it unique enough to call it their own, especially with touches like the small front hole punch for the selfie at the top left, and of course, the glyph lights. It's an odd thing to say, but I would say that I think I would actually have loved a bit more physical weight to the phone, even though it is well balanced in the hand. And I would say that the last major drawback is that the Nothing Phone 1 only has a minor IP53 splash resistance, which is indeed a far cry from the IP67 on other phones within the same price. I have the black color here, and I've also actually had hands-on with the white color as well, which I actually think the white color is still the best one to get. Regardless, I personally cannot praise the design and build quality enough on the Phone 1. Part 2 of the Nothing Phone 1 punching above its weight and feeling more than the money is definitely the overall display experience. It's only really as of recently that we've actually started to see phones with this level of attention to detail when it comes to the display experience, and that indeed does come at a much higher price. The Nothing Phone 1 is using a 6.55-inch full high definition plus OLED display with a 20:9 aspect ratio with a super smooth 120Hz high refresh rate. The specs are one thing, but damn, just look at the completely flat front display with those perfectly symmetrical borders all across with the small hole punch on the top left. This display design alone deserves a round of applause, but especially at this price point, it needs a chef's kiss. Mwah! The touch response is great with excellent haptics, and with how well optimized it is with the Nothing OS software, it really does make a difference to the perceived speed of the overall device. Bravo Nothing, you smashed it here. Well, almost, because there is a slight sacrifice for the cost of all that display glory, which comes in the form of lower brightness. This isn't a super dim display by any means, but when using a Lux speaker to measure the standard max brightness with auto mode disabled, I was actually getting around roughly a reading of 595 nits. With HDR content being pushed, it was actually roughly closer to 887 nits. Still usable of course, but personally I do wish it was just a bit brighter. Last is the fingerprint scanner. It is of the optical variety and a good one as well, which is consistent with good speed to unlock, but the position of it is lower than I would actually have liked, and what I'm used to on other phones, so it's actually taking some adjusting to. With that feedback considered, I'm in awe with how good the display experience is on the Nothing Phone 1. Now things start to calm down a bit here when it comes to the specs and the performance, but Nothing has still been able to sprinkle some magic here to balance the performance out and also stretch it further than you would actually expect. The Nothing Phone 1 is using a custom Qualcomm Snapdragon 778G Plus chipset on a 6nm process with a base RAM of 8GB and 128GB of storage. That custom 778G Plus chip enables features like wireless charging, and Nothing is said to have really worked closely with Qualcomm to optimize the experience for performance and battery life, and I have to say, at least on the performance side, I believe them. Don't get me wrong, this is still a mid-range chip and a slightly older one in fact, but it's been well used and optimized, and the fact that the base RAM is 8GB and there is an option for a 12GB RAM variant, it will definitely help the Phone 1 in the long run. Minus what is a struggling experience so far with a poorly optimized app like Twitter for Android, the Phone 1 performance has been very good so far. At this point we have to start wondering, when is the Nothing Phone 1 going to truly show itself as a mid-range £400 smartphone? And yes, you guessed it, it's the camera. Let's set expectations for a moment in place because I still need more time with the camera experience, and a full camera comparison will be ready soon, so if not done so already at this time. And I can definitely appreciate the no gimmick approach to the hardware with using a wide and ultra wide for the rear cameras and building the macro mode into the ultra wide rather than using a redundant 2-megapixel sensor. But yep, this is where you really start to see just how mid the overall camera experience is, which definitely shows that this is a sub £400 smartphone experience when it comes to the camera. A few points to take. First, you are limited to 4K 30 frames a second recording, which actually is expected at this price, but you are limited to recording on a single lens at a time and cannot switch between the lenses while recording. As HDR video is limited to 1080p, there is an odd exposure issue when using 4K 30 frames a second, even after the latest software update, and the colors and portrait mode performance are suspect in my opinion at the moment. Again, I need more time until my full review, but this is where personally, I think the Phone 1 exposes itself more as a mid-ranger. In the words of Anakin Skywalker, this is where the fun begins. And most fun indeed, simplicity, and definitely interesting quirks at the core of the software experience is what makes the Nothing Phone 1. It's using Android 12 out of the box and currently running the latest security update, and Nothing really did well to stick close to everything that makes Google's version of Android so good to use, with the icing on the cake being the Nothing OS launcher. Now that's the simplicity side of things, but the odd little features missing in stock Android that I'm used to are here, from face unlock to double tap to lock the screen, unlocking the passcode without pressing enter, the easier access to the quick settings toggle for things like Wi-Fi, data, hotspot, being able to enlarge your favorite apps on the home screen, and of course the dot matrix font, which I really like. The real fun and quirkiness of the Phone 1 is definitely the glyph interface. Now, I'm gonna be very honest, I'm not sure if I'm fully sold on the functional benefits of the LED lights away from using them as a soft fill light for pictures and especially videos, using them for notifications, a charging indicator, and matching them to the beat and music you're playing. I can most indeed appreciate the uniqueness of the glyph interface. I just don't know if it would be enough to move me away from keeping my phone faced up and using the always on display, which gives me access to more useful information like the time, date, weather, battery, and most importantly, the fingerprint sensor. Now, I know this is not a gaming phone, but if there were maybe different color options for the positioned LEDs locked to specific apps, maybe a rear fingerprint scanner as well for even quicker access to unlock, then maybe, just maybe, I would be more inclined to have my phone facing down and using the glyph interface. It's a bit of a different hot take on this, but I thought, hey, let me just throw it out there and maybe in the future, they might do it or push it to a special edition version of the phone. For now though, it is definitely cool to have the glyph interface, but I do prefer the always on display. The battery and charging experience overall has been good so far. The standby time when it comes to the battery drain might have been a slight point of concern at this early stage, but I think after the latest patch, it's been holding up pretty well with the 4,500 mAh battery. Screen on time has been holding well between 6 to 7 hours with at least a good 30% battery left in the tank at the end of the day with moderate to heavy usage. I recently did a charging test showing how long it takes to charge from 0 to 100%, so definitely give that a watch. But like most phones nowadays, there is no charger in the box. So if you choose to buy the official 45-watt charger directly from Nothing, you'll be spending a good £45, which I personally think is a little steep considering it's only rated at 33 watts. Overall, the speeds are respectable, and with 15-watt wireless charging and battery share, the feature set for the battery and charging is really good. Wrapping it up, as first attempts go, the Nothing Phone 1 captures something that feels unique while walking the plank of a low risk but yet very familiar take on what we've come to know of the modern day smartphone experience. Experienced or not, it's not easy coming in fresh and starting new. So credit where credit's due, the Nothing Phone 1 is definitely holding its own so far. That is it. That's my 3-day, 72-hour experience with the Nothing Phone 1. Did you pick it up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. That's it for me, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.